Motorists are stranded in 10-mile tailbacks.
We've gone away from Salisbury, come back down here, now we got told to go on the A35 all the way back through Lyndhurst.
The strike is off. BA pilots settle their...
Good evening. A day to forget for thousands of motorists, delayed for hours after a major emergency on one of the South's busiest routes. Hundreds of gallons of fuel spilled onto the road after a petrol tanker collided with a lorry. It caused chaos right across Hampshire and Dorset.
The crash happened in the early hours of the morning on the A31 at Castle Mulwood Hill in the New Forest. Police closed a 5-mile section of road from Ringwood to Cadnam on the M27. Motorists travelling west were diverted through Totton to Lyndhurst. Those travelling east were sent to Salisbury and then down the A36 to Southampton. There were delays from rush hour until lunchtime.
It was a relatively minor accident that caused this major emergency on one of the South's busiest roads. 1,600 gallons of fuel poured out of the ruptured tanker and onto the A31 after the collision at 2 o'clock this morning. The road was covered with foam to protect against fire and explosion. The driver of the lorry was hurt and taken to hospital, but the man at the wheel of the petrol tanker wasn't injured. The A31 and part of the M27 were closed throughout the rush hour, causing mayhem on other roads across Hampshire and Dorset. 10-mile tailbacks built up on some roads, and drivers were diverted miles out of their way.
We've gone away from Salisbury, come back down here, now we got told to go on the A35 all the way back through Lyndhurst.
So you're a bit confused?
Very, very confused, yeah.
We don't know what's going on, we've just been diverted through Salisbury.
Very slow, bumper to bumper, all the way through. Nothing else you can do though, really, is there?
We can't divert heavy goods vehicles down forest roads. They aren't designed for that amount of traffic, so we had to keep people on the major roads. This was obviously very inconvenient, but you can appreciate 30,000 litres of petrol was a very dangerous situation. It was completely unsafe to let the public pass here.
Traffic was down to just a few miles an hour throughout the New Forest. Lyndhurst is busy at the best of times. Today it's been absolute chaos. Drivers have been late for work and have missed appointments. Holidaymakers coming here for a relaxing break have spent hours stuck in traffic. Both carriageways of the A31 remain closed for much of the morning as firemen battle to stop fuel leaking into drains and polluting the surrounding countryside.
Some of it already has washed off into ditches and to open land in the forest. My main concern is that obviously that will soak into the ground.
Well, it was unleaded petrol. Essentially, it will have evaporated, yes. But again, working with the Highways Authority and the fire brigade, we are ensuring that the road behind us is fully clean before the police open it up.
The reopening couldn't come soon enough for the owners of this garage on the A31.
From about 10 to 6, right up to 7 o'clock, we are busy. And our turnaround, it's about £1,000 loss at the moment. Well, I hope it does open up quickly now.
By lunchtime, both the tanker and the lorry had been removed. The eastbound carriageway opened first, and then at about 2 o'clock, traffic was again allowed to drive west. Richard Jones in the New Forest for Meridian tonight.
Well, the long delays meant misery for thousands of motorists. We sent our reporter Clare into the traffic jams this morning. Her journey from Southampton to Christchurch would normally take 45 minutes, but not today.
It's 8:30, the height of rush hour. The M27's always busy at this time in the morning. Today, just past Rownham services, the traffic was stationary.
I came to a halt just after junction 3 of the M27. That's the first exit for Southampton and Totton. It took about 10 minutes to go the next mile along the motorway, and then I was diverted off the M27 and now heading towards Lyndhurst along the A35, and once again I'm at a complete halt.
For westbound traffic, you'll come off the M27 at junction 2.
The cross-country route left drivers frustrated and in some cases very confused. This gentleman was heading from Wareham to Winchester, but after 2 hours I found him near Lyndhurst heading back to Bournemouth.
Perhaps we should have took the Salisbury route, but I didn't know at the time. We thought by coming through the New Forest, it should be easier, but nothing we can do about it.
Others found their vehicles just weren't up to it.
The steam started gushing out of the bonnet, so I thought I'd better pull over and let it cool down.
Well, I'm still behind the same van, about half a mile further up the road. It's now taken me 55 minutes to do 10 miles.
Hampshire County Council's Highways Department had definitely picked the wrong day to do a traffic survey.
No, not the best day at all. No, it's very hard going this morning.
On the far side of Lyndhurst, things started picking up, but approaching Hinton Admiral at 10:15, we were back down to a crawl. For some, alternative modes of transport were the only answer.
It was holiday traffic, but it appeared not to be.
It's better to leave the car in the garage, especially when there's a diversion like this.
Rather than battle through, others opted out.
We pulled off into lay-by and decided to have a cup of tea.
Well, I finally made it to Christchurch. As you can see, the traffic is still building up behind me. It's taken 2 hours and 25 minutes to go 25 miles. This is Clare in Christchurch.
This morning after an accident on the A31. The road is the main link between Hampshire and Dorset. The route was closed for 9 hours between Ringwood and Junction 2 of the M27 after an accident involving a fully loaded petrol tanker at Stoney Cross. Bryony Leyland reports.
8,000 litres of unleaded petrol spilled out over the A31 when an Esso tanker was in collision with a van. 60 firefighters were called to the scene. Both carriageways were closed to traffic during the morning rush hour, causing congestion on roads throughout the area and frustration for thousands of motorists.
It caused a lot of problems, especially in the Dorset area, the A35, the A338 and the A31. And the diversions we put in were quite considerable. It's unfortunate, but obviously in the New Forest, the roads are so small that we had no choice but to put in the major diversions, especially for heavy goods vehicles.
The clean-up operation continued throughout the morning as the 30,000 litres of petrol left in the tanker were transported away.
Throughout the area, you have petroleum vapours which, when mixed with air, can give you either a flammable or explosive mixture. And where we found them, then we foamed the area and kept them to a minimum, so we could work in safety.
Esso say they're satisfied no lasting environmental damage has been caused by the spill.
The Environment Agency have been here on site and have confirmed that there's no long-lasting contamination of the ground. There has been no, at all times, there has been no danger to the public around.
The road was finally opened in both directions by lunchtime. Esso say a full investigation is underway.